All right, we're live. How's everybody doing out there?
It's been better days. Been better days.
Seems like some people are PO'd.
I'll tell you, the BC starts it off in the chat. Jabari Smith is the best player in college basketball.
Oh, is it basketball season now? Is that what he's saying? He's a good player.
By the way, he may be.
He's a good player. I mean, it's an exhibition game, right?
You starting this? You rolling?
It's rolling.
All right.
We're rolling.
We're live?
We're live.
All right. This is our post-show afternoon edition brought to you by our friends at Dr. Pepper. I'm drinking the Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar today. Rounds.
I got Diet
Dr. Pepper.
Diet Dr. Pepper.
Right there. So that's a proud sponsor of the show. And then so too, our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Our friends at Culver's, new location opening Highway 280 very soon. Almost got that building complete. I saw that just the other day. Our friends at Hemp Hill, our friends at Wayne's. So our 5 sponsors right there who are all with us here in Dallas for these afternoon shows and evening shows. Tomorrow night and Thursday, we'll be going at 5 and 7. And then on Friday, right after the Alabama game. We're here today to talk about the conclusion of Auburn-Houston. What you thought of the game, what you thought of the season, and what you're thinking about next year when it comes to the Auburn Tigers. We're also going to talk about what's happening today here in Dallas with Alabama and Cincinnati. Hope you were with us earlier today when we broke that down a little bit. But initially, let's jump into the conversation and work through some comments of you guys, and hopefully you'll join us in the chat room and as well, maybe on the video stream, however we do this. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter and on Instagram as well, and hope you're having a good day other than the outcome of that contest there. First off, right, I'll start with this.
All right.
Hats off to the Birmingham Bowl, to the Auburn fans, to the Houston fans in the city of Birmingham for packing the place. It looked beautiful on television, watching from afar with people who are not from Alabama, who are not Auburn fans, who are not Alabama fans, who are not SEC fans. They were impressed with the way the stadium looked, the way the bowl looks. You were getting questions in the media room about, how many bowls will sell out? How many bowls will have 47,100 fans? And the truth of it is, not a lot of them. Not a lot of them. So hats off to the 15th annual Birmingham Bowl. It is one for the ages. Great crowd, great scene.
I heard concessions were a disaster.
Okay, that's the downside.
Well, it is a downside, but they got to get that fixed because you only get one chance to make a first impression. So for a lot of people, the first impression of the new stadium downtown was it's a disaster to get food. I had several people texting me that they spent a quarter of the game, 1 quarter in line.
Yep.
And you just can't have that. It's plagued the BJCC, same group running this stadium there. They've got to get that right. They've got to get that right.
Had the same issue the other night at the BJCC. Beautiful new expansion of the basketball arena, half full for the Alabama basketball game with Davidson, and concession issues as well. Fan experience, something that's very, very important. They do a good job at Jordan Hare and at Bryant Denny of that. Got to get that rolling down at Protective Stadium. That from the Auburn fans during the game when the outcome was going their way. It's not sour grapes. That was during the contest. We were getting those tweets. But on the field today, let's start with this game and then we'll work big picture. Okay, this game right here. That's a really good Houston team, I think. Also a really good Houston offense that for the most part, the Auburn defense missing almost any named player you could name, right? They played really well and kept that team for the most part in check. Opening drive for a touchdown, final drive for a touchdown. Bookends cost you the game. But in my opinion, the offense should have won that game. Defense played good enough to win the game.
Well, I think you've got quarterback issues, don't you? I mean, that's where it all starts. TJ Finley is not an SEC quarterback. I believe we've got enough evidence to come to that conclusion. I mean, if this were a court of law and TJ Finley was on trial for being a quarterback, I think the judge would say, we're going to throw this case out. He's not an SEC quarterback.
I mean, if we're going to turn to the final page of the book here, there's no way TJ Finley can be your quarterback for 12 games next year in the Southeastern Conference, right?
I don't think so. Can you make a case that he should be?
I mean, right now, if you're looking at the roster,
well, they don't have a quarterback right now.
Yeah.
If you look at the roster,
I mean, the guy who signed the best quarterback on paper is the guy who signed in the early signing period, right? Gurner. He's coming to town. He's the best guy on paper.
Yep, he is.
Because we didn't see D. Davis today. We were led to believe going in, at least I was by people who cover Auburn, that we may see a little D. Davis today.
Well, we had heard.
See D. Davis?
I did not see D. Davis. We had heard 2 or 3 possessions, maybe 2 or 3.
We never got to that part.
Yeah, maybe it was going to need overtime. I don't know. I don't know why you didn't see D. Davis. Let me pull up the final box on TJ Finley. It was not good.
It's going to be somewhere around, I'm going to guess, 48% completion rate. Last I checked, it was 18 of 31.
Right.
I'm going to put him around 50%.
19 of 37.
19 of 37.
Which I want to come back to something based on that. 19 of 37. 227, a touchdown, no interceptions. The touchdown was a gorgeous pass.
Well, that was it, right? And, I mean, you and I were having lunch during the first half at Rodeo Goat, and you said, man, he can throw some pretty balls.
He can. I was just sitting inside watching the end of that game with
choked up on me.
I know. With Joe Goodman.
It'll be okay, man.
It is.
It'll be okay.
Joe Goodman, AL.com columnist. And I mentioned to Joe the gap between TJ Finley's good passes and TJ Finley's awful passes is about as big a gap as anybody I've ever seen. He can throw some beautiful passes, but boy, his bad passes are just awful.
Yeah.
They're awful.
If you call Bo Nix inaccurate, what the hell do you call TJ Finley? It's worse than inaccurate.
No, it is.
I don't have the vocabulary. What's accurate and inaccurate?
I don't know, but at least Bo Nix can run you out of bad plays. And TJ Finley can't even really run you out of bad plays. So, I mean, that quarterback is a massive issue for Auburn. They haven't addressed it. I mean, Holden Grenier, we'll see if he's the answer. I would surprise me if he is.
Right.
But we'll see. I mean, that may be your only option right there, unless you hit the transfer portal.
When TJ Finley completes passes, like on the touchdown drive, and the fact that we can describe it as the touchdown drive.
The touchdown drive,
yeah,
yes.
That's a problem when you can say the
Right.
touchdown drive. But he completed 1, 2, 3, I think 5 passes on that touchdown drive. Had a second and long, got a first down. Had a third and long, got a first down. But he hit 5 passes in a row. So when he's not riding this huge roller coaster,
Yeah.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. But that didn't happen a lot today. But I got to go back to that defense who played.
They played well.
Played
without
lights
a lot
out.
of good defensive players. Yeah.
And they had good defensive players playing against Alabama and played lights out in that game.
Yep.
Probably should have won that game if they'd had Bo Nix. Probably would have won the game today if they had Bo Nix. But Bo Nix isn't coming back through that door next year, right? So who is going to be the quarterback?
Yeah.
It'll be what we talk about all off season, unless they land somebody in the portal. And I don't know who's still out there that you would want that you're going to say that guy is better than who we've got.
Well, there are a lot of guys that are better than TJ Finley.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably could throw a rock. Here in
Not
Dallas.
if you're TJ Finley. You could.
Throw a rock here in Dallas and hit Waco. That's a Texas joke.
Yes, it is.
They've got to get a quarterback. I thought they would get a quarterback in the portal before now.
Well, I mean, it is getting late. It feels that way, right? I mean, Keaton Slovis went to Pittsburgh. I mean, and look, I don't know that Keaton Slovis is who you want, but if you did want him, I would have thought you could convince him to come to Auburn rather than Pittsburgh. But maybe not. I mean, maybe he likes Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Okay, let's do one sponsorship. Pick one out here. One of our great sponsors. We'll get to some of your responses on Twitter as you can hit at Next Round Live, at Ryan Brown Live, or at Jim Dunaway. Just at Jim Dunaway. I'm not live.
You're not. Wayne's Pest Control. They've got that Smart Pest solution. Smart Pest combines the effectiveness of traditional pest control services with 24/7 rodent monitoring. Smart Pest monitors and proactively communicates to prevent an infestation. It is the most intelligent, eco-friendly pest control solution available today, and you can get it from Wayne's. 866-WAYNES-1, 866-WAYNES-1. Make sure you use the offer code TNR to receive $60 off your initial smart pest service with Wayne's. 866-WAYNES-1, serving SEC country since 1973.
I'm going to start with this one. I always double check on some of these to make sure it's not another fan base trolling me. Okay?
Yes, we don't want that.
Jeff, who is an Auburn fan, I checked his avatar. This is as uninterested I've been in Auburn in my life. Bama isn't slowing down anytime soon, and Auburn is sinking more into mediocrity.
Well, I mean, the end of the year was very mediocre football for Auburn. There's no doubt about that.
What was the stat from LT? First time they lost 5 straight games in
71 years. Yeah, because I even said you would think 2012 when it fell apart for Gene Chizik, but they had that one game before the Iron Bowl. That's back when the SEC still had the crappy week. So yeah, I mean when you go 71 years, that's digging deep right there, man.
But Jeff, I will tell you that, I mean, you got some pieces to start next year with. You've got really good duo of running backs, right?
Right.
I mean, Hunter and Bigsby are legit great running backs. Running behind a mediocre offensive line, they still look good. After that, I don't know where the pieces are. But you start with, you got 2 guys really good there. And again, defense with the names against Bama played good. With the backups coming in today, a secondary that I knew smoked Monday. I didn't know a lot of other people back there. Pritchett, I knew them. I didn't know all the names back there, and they still played well today against a good passing team.
Well, they did when they could stay in the game. Smoke Monday gets 2 targetings, one waved off, the other one gets him ejected. Jalen Simpson got ejected for a targeting, so it's that was a tough day on the secondary. You're already down some guys with Puckett not playing. You're without Roger McCreary, and then you end up losing those guys too. That was tough.
Here's Kennan on our social media platforms. I don't think TJ ever starts again at Auburn. If I ask you people watching and do you think TJ Finley ever starts another game as an Auburn at quarterback?
I mean, who are they going to start next year? I mean, I would say yes. I don't think he's earned another start at Auburn, but I don't know who they would start next year. D. Davis didn't play. A lot of people are saying, did I miss D. Davis? No, you didn't. D. Davis didn't play. So I don't know that they don't believe in D. Davis. I don't know what you're waiting on there.
KJ, one of our great female listeners. Tank needs more carries.
Well, I wanted to get back to
their
that.
Best offensive player. So take a big swig of your Dr. Pepper.
Well, because
and answer that for KJ.
When I told you that Auburn threw the ball, what did I say, 37 times? You had 16 carries. He had 16 carries. He was averaging 6 yards a carry, Dunaway. How many times do you give the ball to a guy when he's averaging 6 yards a carry, would you think? More than 16?
Yeah. I mean, in modern day football, what do we throw about there? 22?
Yeah. In 1997 passing.
But it seems like Turd seems like he was productive when he carried the ball, too.
He had 5 carries for 17 yards.
Yeah, not so productive. What game were you watching, Jim?
Tank Bigsby, though, 16 carries, 96 yards, averaging 6 yards a carry. And those carries went away late in the game again. It got blamed a lot on Mike Bobo. He's out of the picture now. That was Harsin calling the plays. How they forget about Tank Bigsby sometimes. He's the best player on the field today.
Here we go with Will. You almost want to tie one of those fingers around. You know how the referees, they have that string tied around their finger, and on every play they move it. And you should make something with, like, every time you get to your ring finger,
right?
It should be give Tank Bigsby the ball, right?
Right.
So it should be move the string,
right.
Give Tank the ball. Move the string, give Tank the ball. Just remind yourself that Tank is there. Will says TJ Finley is not the future. Harsin calling plays is not the future. This offensive line is not the future. These wide receivers are not the future. Rebuild seems steeper than when Harsin took this job.
I mean, but there are some serious concerns going into next season. Some very serious concerns. I mean, I don't think you can't pin all that on Harsin. He's having to recruit out of a hole that Gus Malzahn dug. He did a good job of getting out of that hole a little bit on the initial signing day. He needs another good, whatever's left out there to try to pick some of the guys up at the February signing day. But it's going to take some time. It's not an overnight rebuild. And this is a tough conference. I mean, your 2 biggest rivals are probably about to play for the national championship.
They're favored to play for the national championship
so,
again.
Yeah, again, so this is a tough time to try to be digging out of that hole if you're the Auburn coach. But he knew that when he took the job.
He did. He did. Again, you're watching our post reaction to Auburn and Houston from the Birmingham Bowl. We are live in Dallas covering Alabama in the college football playoff semifinals, and it's presented today by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, open for lunch and dinner today and the rest of the week, getting you ready for the year. Make sure you go by and see Sterling and the crew there. Those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales to die for. I'll even say that out loud here in Dallas, Texas. Those Mississippi Delta tamales are the best I've ever tasted, and I won't taste any better out here. You can get that Highway 119 in Alabaster. Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, always supporting what we do in the next round. So when you're in the area, support them, champy'schicken.com. With this Auburn team now, we're talking about the future very quickly, and quarterback becomes a big focal point. They'll have a first-round draft pick in Roger McCreary.
Yeah.
He'll be a first-round draft pick. I don't know where Smoke Monday is going to go, but he's leaving for the NFL. Well, McCreary's a first-round draft pick. Gus Malzahn will catch a lot of the blame. How long does Gus Malzahn become the scapegoat? And then it becomes, what are you doing here? You mentioned the rivals. Alabama and Georgia are going to play for the national championship. Texas A&M just had the nation's best recruiting class in your division, always on your schedule. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, feels like they are trending up right now. Arkansas, Mississippi State feel like they're trending up right now. LSU just hired Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Pretty good recruiting class, too. Feels like they're trending up right now. Is it safe to say Auburn right now is the only team in the West that doesn't feel like they're trending up right now? Is that unfair of me?
Yeah,
to be sitting here in a red Alabama State shirt right here with the next round logo.
That's true. You are wearing that. I don't know that it's unfair. I don't know that it's a fair criticism of Brian Harsin. I mean, I just think,
I'm not here to criticize
I
Brian
know.
Harsin. I'm just asking the question.
Well, normally though, when
Where
you
are
say
we
a
going?
team's not trending up, I mean you're pointing the finger at the head coach. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that's a natural thing to do. I mean, I think it's fair to say this team is not trending up. And, you know, when you look around, Alabama is at least trending sideways, which is, you know, good for them.
I see some familiar names in here, like Bobby was a long-time Auburn fan.
Yeah.
What can Bobby tell us? Give me a little Bobby.
You'll have to let me read that here because I'm all the way back to the start.
Okay.
Let's see. Harsin showed off his recruiting skills on national Sunday in every area except the two biggest. He's right about this. Offensive line and quarterback. He's got a lot of work to do on the portal. There's no reason to think he won't get it done. But, yeah, we talk about hitting the portal for quarterback. They still can't recruit at offensive line. They got to hit the portal for offensive line, too.
I wonder on the offensive line, and I don't know this to be true, right? I don't know this to be true. But if your offensive line is perceived to be down here and you're a really good offensive lineman, are you afraid to be the one guy who goes to an offensive line, or do you like to go with other great offensive linemen? Like, is that a hard position to get the ball rolling in the right direction on? Am I asking that question right? Like, you can go get one outstanding quarterback and he can recruit receivers and other players.
What you're saying is, if I'm a really good tackle, am I the only good offensive lineman on the team?
Right. And does my stock go down? Do I want to go where other good offensive linemen are going so we look good together? I don't know how all that works. Obviously, there are more talented people who talk about offensive lines than me. In recruiting, he's right. I mean, where Auburn was and where they are now in recruiting, I feel like Brian Harsin did a really good job.
Yeah, but Bobby's right. He's got to work at quarterback and he's got to work at offensive line.
And I feel like you can get the quarterback in the portal.
Well, I mean, we'll see because I
don't know if you can now.
Yeah.
But when the portal starts,
yes,
every year there's enough quarterbacks in the portal that there are people there that
you can address quarterback in the portal. There's no doubt you can address quarterback in the portal. Chris says you got to have a quarterback that can hit the go route. The next to last possession for Auburn, at least one touchdown Finley missed, probably two on go routes there.
I'm just an average viewer. I sort of like the play calling for Brian Harsin today. I like the speed sweeps. That seemed to fit what you were doing. Maybe you could have given the ball 4, 5, 6 more times to Tain. I thought he called some good plays that had some open people, and the quarterback just couldn't get them to him.
Yeah.
So for those criticizing Brian Harsin's play calling, I personally like the way he called plays today, or whomever was helping him call plays.
I'll tell you, turning point in the game, and Blake is right about this earlier, the Smoke Monday targeting, which by rule was the right call, that was about a 50, 60-yard penalty. I mean, you were almost in the red zone on one side. It took you all the way back to the other side of the field.
Well, I think it was like a 52-yard penalty.
Yeah. That was definitely a game changer. Not to mention it takes Smoke Monday out of the game, which on that last possession that Houston scored on, or their last real drive before they were bleeding clock, Smoke Monday would have been a pretty big addition out there. You had a tight end running wide open for a key play there.
Does he have to miss the first half of his NFL team's exhibition game?
Jalen Simpson, we looked it up, Mercer. He's going to miss first half of Mercer. You think Auburn can handle Mercer?
But how dumb of a rule is that?
That's a stupid rule that he carries over there.
Jalen Simpson gets ejected here today in December of 2021.
Yeah.
And when we play football again in September of 2022, he can't play in the first half.
That is dumb.
Because of something that happened today.
Yeah, that is dumb. Chris says, I think Auburn maybe need to join Georgia and hope with these counseling sessions on SEC shorts. I haven't watched that one.
Most recently?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's rave reviews. I missed the last.
Stan says on Facebook, the SEC is 0-3. They are, in fact, 0-3 in bowl games.
And when I said that, you all reacted the other night when I pointed out lost by Missouri, lost by Florida, about how sucky those two teams were. But now Auburn adds to that 0-3.
Yeah.
You like Mississippi State tonight, though.
Well, I think it's personal for Mike Leach. I'm counting on Mike Leach taking out $2.6 million of frustration on Texas Tech. Yeah. SEC needs a win, though.
Part of our show today being brought to you by the great folks at Culver's. I mean, if you're looking for a great burger and ice cream and all those good comfort foods that people have been going to Culver's for years, one great location on Highway 150 and a new one coming on 280.
Yeah, listen. Culver's has that location, Stadium Trace, off 459, 150. Then in Hoover, it's going to be Tattersall Park, 280 and 119. Culver's, welcome to delicious, fantastic frozen treats and burgers. If you haven't tried the one out there in Hoover near the Hoover Met, you're going to get a chance to if you're out on 280. Coming very soon. Culver's, welcome to delicious.
Yeah. And thank you, Dr. Pepper, as well, sponsor of the show, keeping us refreshed out here at Zero Sugar on the patio at the Omni in downtown Dallas, Texas. This is our afternoon show. We'll do this at 5 to 7 the next 2 days to set the table on what is happening with Alabama and Cincinnati here. But today we're doing the immediate reaction to Auburn losing to Houston in the Birmingham Bowl. If you're jumping in and joining us right now, he's Ryan Brown. I'm Jim Dunaway. The conversation continues with you guys on all of our video platforms here. And don't forget, we're back live tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock with our normal live show here from Dallas. And we'll stay live all week long from out here covering the college football playoffs.
I've got some other reactions here. First of all, people are pointing out that we mislabeled this. It is not Monday, it's Tuesday. It's 100% on me. It feels like Monday to me for some reason because Monday was supposed to be our first day here. That's on me, 100%. Jay.
It's okay. Last night I sent out your one-on-one interview with Slade
Bolden, and another one coming up later tonight.
You know, Daily Diary from Slade, also brought to you by Dr. Pepper. But I sent it out last night. Daily Dairy from Slade.
People started responding with milk, and I'm like, what joke am I missing here? Jay, positives.
D-A-I-D-I-A.
Yes. Jay says the positives, the young defensive backfield gave me confidence moving forward. Negatives, absolutely everything else. Scott, I'm surprised that after having a mid-level Mountain West coach, Auburn looked like a mid-level Mountain West team. Maybe not an Auburn fan there, I don't know. Chris says it's a QB game nowadays. Auburn is hurting badly for one. Absolutely. We've talked a lot about that.
You can't win big without a quality quarterback.
You cannot. You get past it a little bit in college. You could get around good quarterback play in college, not elite quarterback play. You cannot get around bad quarterback play anywhere.
Okay.
And TJ Finley gives you bad quarterback play.
Well, we're here at the college football playoffs. 2 of the 4 quarterbacks are good, and they just happen to be the 2 here in Dallas. The other 2 quarterbacks are average, surrounding by elite defenses and run games.
Yeah.
So you've got to be elite everywhere else but quarterback, or you've got to be really good at quarterback who will make up for some of your non-eliteness everywhere else.
Right. Blake, Kobe Hudson is approaching elite wide receiver play if he had a quarterback to throw to him. Kobe Hudson's I think he's got a good future.
Open all day long.
Yeah.
He was Waffle House today.
He was. Jonathan said, very lucky the TD drive because he horribly underthrew the wide receiver they originally called incomplete, which he did. That was a fantastic catch. Horrible pass, but a fantastic catch.
Again, another great play call. If he put him on the money, he walks in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
We'll route open all day long, every time they call him.
Chris, an LSU fan. My best friend is an Auburn alum. He was so smug when Finley left LSU for Auburn. This afternoon after the game, he wouldn't answer my calls. I mean, you were going to call to rub his nose in it. I wouldn't answer either.
I know what he's calling for.
Goose says, TJ is like Stetson Bennett. Some of his throws look amazing, perfect touch. Then he'll flub 1-2 plays later. Stetson Bennett's a much better quarterback, but I get the comparison there.
Stetson is a much better quarterback.
Yeah. Jay asked about the QB from Missouri. Don't know how to spell his name. I don't either, but it's Connor Bazelak.
Connor Bazelak.
Can you spell his name?
And going into the season, well thought of. Some people called him. It may have even been people like me at SEC Media Days, maybe the most underrated, most underappreciated quarterback in the SEC going into the season. Now, he ended up losing his job. Like, that wasn't just a bowl time decision. It wasn't an opt-out. He got beat out at the end of the year and didn't play in the Missouri Bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, I Connor Bazelak is a better quarterback than TJ Finley. I mean, that's an upgrade. There's absolutely no doubt. I think anybody would call that an upgrade if you convinced him to come. Is Connor Bazelak a guy that is going to take you from TJ Finley to contending in the West? I would have my doubts about that. But Connor Bazelak's a better quarterback than TJ Finley.
Yes,
Okay.
he is. Yes, he is.
All right.
I mean, I think Bazelak is a guy that surrounded by, Connor Bazelak at Georgia. I think Georgia's in the college football playoffs.
Yeah. Jason says, bad coaching with bad QB play. Why did they stop running Tank? That question has plagued this coaching staff so many times. Think back on the games where you've asked the question, why did you quit running Tank? Just off the top of my head, South Carolina.
But any of the 5 losses in the season except the Alabama game.
Yeah, I mean, Tank. Yeah, unfortunately, one of the crucial errors he made running out of bounds in that game. I was going to go back and look at the South Carolina box score. Tank Bigsby, 22 carries, 164. Maybe you ran him enough there. I don't know.
But what if that's 164 through the 3 quarters and he didn't touch it the 4th?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It seems like I remember thinking, why have they quit running Tank Bigsby?
Yeah. Chris, on our chat here on StreamYard, did Dunaway lose the Smoke Monday stake bet? It was our 5th oldest college football stake bet, and it came to an end when Smoke Monday committed to Auburn. And buckle up for this. I over-exaggerate occasionally Auburn signees. Bo Nix going to be a Heisman finalist junior year. Didn't happen. Didn't lose a stake on it. Just didn't happen. A lot of egg on my face. Smoke Monday, I said, I thought it was an easy stake on signing day. Smoke Monday would have over 6 interceptions in his Auburn career. Now, in worst case scenario, that was just 2 a year. Just 2 interceptions a year. Trayvon Diggs gets that in a weekend right now with the Cowboys in the NFL. I just needed 2 a year, and he ends up, I think, with 5 total. Didn't get over the 6.
Robert says, Malzahn left Auburn with less talent on offense than Bowden, and I never thought that was possible. It'd be hard to compare those 2 rosters.
I mean, Senator Tommy Tuberville could tell us how bad it was when he got there. Cole Kublik could tell us how bad it was when Tubbs got there because Cole was on that team.
Quarterback, I mean, Bo Nix was a better quarterback than what Auburn had back then. You're a better quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you were going through the Gabe Gross experience.
Yeah, you're better at running back. Tank Bigsby's better than a running back they had back then. Position to position, I don't know. That would be a tough one. But it's close enough that if you're having the discussion, that's a concern. There's no doubt.
I think I'll take Cole's offensive line over this one.
It's not a high bar. This was not very good.
But I would take that 98-99 offensive line.
Yeah. Gus, let's see. One of my preseason bold predictions came true. Auburn will have a losing record, Charles said. Is it accurate? 7-6 or 6-7? Excuse me.
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see it.
I thought Auburn was an 8-4, 7-5 type team.
I thought 8-4 would have been the high end, 7-5, 6-6 the low end, which I guess is what that worked out to. And then they end up losing the bowl game. So I guess that I just didn't think they'd end up 6-7.
Yeah. MJ says, Jim, that Dr. Pepper is not on the way to wellness plan. That's a zero sugar.
Oh, it's absolutely zero sugar.
Yeah.
It's zero sugar, 0 calories.
In fact, college football fans, what started as a season full of rivalries, close calls, and many cold cans of sweet Dr. Pepper is now coming to a close. So raise a Dr. Pepper to celebrate another glorious season of football and Fansville by Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
And this is where Coach Ryan and Charlie and I drink it, right?
That's right.
Now we just need a chip sponsor.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that right now. If you want to join us on video, you could either drop us a DM at Next Round Live, and we'll give you the link where you could join us on video, or...
Oh, you mean actually join us right now?
Yeah.
You drop us a DM, we send
That's
you
right.
a link.
We send you a link.
And your video pops up right here
You
with
join us just like a phone caller.
Wow.
Yep, we'll go to a 2-box, as they say in the biz.
Technology.
And you'll be with us. Or you can email me, and I'll send it to you, brown@nextroundlive.com, brown@nextroundlive.com. What are you laughing at?
Hats off to Ush. You got the screen cap of my extra push on the Dr. Pepper commercial.
I'll send it to Dr. Pepper.
Thank you, Ush. They'll pay extra for that one.
Yes, they will. Great sponsor. We love Dr. Pepper.
K-Dub jumping in here with his comment. Just watch the Birmingham Bowl. Good game between two mid-major teams. K-Dub, an Alabama fan.
Let's continue here. Boy, I mean, these are coming in fast and furious here. On YouTube, Auburn's only hope at the end was if the running back could run out of bounds, killing the clock. Like that never happens. I think that's a little tongue-in-cheek from an Auburn fan that still remembers Tank doing that.
Tide World Order over here on Twitter. Alabama fan, obviously.
You think?
The Gus bus never took them to a losing season in a Birmingham Bowl loss. They're moving in the wrong direction fast.
Gus literally took them to a Birmingham Bowl.
But it was a win.
Okay.
And I don't think Gus ever had a losing season.
Yeah. Hall & Oates reminds us Texas A&M backed out of the bowl, so really the SEC's 0-4, not 0-3.
Great point.
It's hard to argue with him there.
The reach, a lot of money being spent to go 6-7 right now.
Can't argue that. Bobby, anybody that thinks a program the caliber of Auburn will need 5 years to recover from Gus's mess is begging to get blocked for gross stupidity. That's what's going to happen. I don't know if he's blocking him. Jeffrey says Auburn had 2 or 2nd and 2 with Bigsby, and they decided to pass with the lead. Made no sense. They didn't do that. I mean, it's again, some complaints are just people that are just pissed and they're looking for stuff to nitpick about. The consistent complaint of not using Tank Bigsby properly, I think, has been a legitimate complaint all season long.
Okay, so 2 things we can all agree on. You've got to use Tank Bigsby the right amount, whatever you determine that to be. And I think most people say 14 to 16 carries is not it. And the other one is that TJ Finley can't be your starting quarterback
Yes.
next season. That seems to be what everyone
I believe
agrees
that's
on.
a consensus opinion right now. Yeah, I believe that's a consensus opinion. Terry said, did you eat at Rodeo Goat in Dallas? There are different locations I see. We're going to be there soon. Yes, we did, Terry. Eat at Rodeo Goat in Dallas. That's the main location, nearest Love Field Airport and the Hilton Anatole. I believe that's the original. It's the one nearest downtown Dallas. I think there's one in Plano. I think there's one in Fort Worth.
Always good. You know, people will rave about In-N-Out and this and that. And there's In-N-Out here now. Everyone loves a Whataburger out here. But when in Dallas, we go to Rodeo.
That's right. So, yeah, we ate there today. I would highly, highly recommend it. I also would highly recommend, I don't know if I'm going to get out there because I checked the Uber, and it's going to cost $120 round trip. So I don't think I'm going to do it, but Joe T. Garcia is in Fort Worth.
What do you mean?
What's $120 to go eat fajitas? They're good, but they're not $120.
You said it's one of the meals you say
I love it.
when we come here.
I absolutely
Well,
love
I mean,
it.
half of it is $60 for me, $60 for you, right?
That's an expensive trip for fajitas. I'm just telling you.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
It's good.
We got nothing else to do tonight.
We
'cause
do
we're
not.
doing this right now.
That's
We
right.
got a free night.
After we finish with Slade Bolton a little bit later.
Okay. I've got a free night.
Robert says the Missouri quarterback, the Wyoming quarterback, Brockmeyer, they're all still available in the portal. There may be more after the Bowls and college football playoffs are over. If D. Davis couldn't get snaps today, we need another quarterback. I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. If you didn't see D. Davis today, when are you going to see him?
Where are you guys right now? If I tell you the Wyoming quarterback who had a great Potato Bowl, come on, Brockmeyer, was that him? Was that one?
Yeah.
And Brockmeyer, who comes from where?
Boise.
Boise? No.
He was at Boise. Where did he transfer?
But it was Hank Brockmeyer?
Yeah, Hank Bachmeyer.
Okay. Bachmeyer, okay. And Connor Basley. I don't. Those three aren't going to excite me. I think we may miss.
You don't think Hank Bachmeyer is better than TJ Finley? All these guys are better than TJ Finley.
I think Bachmeyer reunited with the guy who recruited him. That would tell you something. If he goes to Auburn, then that tells you Brian Harsin says, this guy's better than anybody we got because I recruited him and I had him. He knows our offense. He'll be better than others.
Bachmeyer's career, he's about a 62% passer. This year was by far and away his best year. 62%, 3,000 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 8 picks.
Was not a good year for.
That's not they didn't have a good year. Boise had one of the worst years they've had in quite a while.
I thought they ended up 9-3.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they were 7-5.
That is average.
Yeah. Charles said, great job, Dunaway. Smoked Monday had more targeting ejections than interceptions.
I think he did. I think he did. His interceptions seemed like they were always pick sixes and usually in the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. Got to think, all right, let's do this exercise. I'm going to read this. I'm going to do a sponsor and give you a second to organize your sports thoughts. Hunter says, is Auburn behind 9 other SEC teams at the moment as far as the way they're trending?
Okay.
Count it up.
I will go through all the trending.
When something's not running right, flowing right, draining right, or flushing right, disaster can strike at any moment, as we have all learned. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this, but Auburn quarterbacking great Jason Campbell, I was texting with him. He walked in, his washer had flooded his main level there.
Happened to my friend Bob.
Yep. Hemp Hill Services takes care of you. Adam, Chad, the great team at Hemp Hill, they're the ones we trust to fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price for all your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs. Trust the name Birmingham's trusted since 1954. Hemp Hill Services, call now, 205-229-2090, 205-229-2090 for Hemp Hill Services. Go.
I don't know. I was going to say something about 8, and I forgot what I was going to say.
8 teams.
Maybe. Okay, here we go. There are 7 teams in the SEC West. I think all 6 of them are trending in a better direction than Auburn right now.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So there's Georgia.
Definitely. Tennessee. Tennessee's trending better than Auburn right now.
Is it you answering it or me? I'm thinking.
Well, I'm clearly right now I am.
I'll go Tennessee. Kentucky. I'll go Kentucky.
Right.
So there's 8.
Kentucky. All right, we're going to play. No. That's not an excuse at all.
Kentucky's football program is better than Auburn's football program right now.
It is.
Auburn's basketball program is easily better than Kentucky's.
I don't disagree.
Easily.
I don't disagree. Sorry, I got to go some gum. I'm losing my voice. What I was going to say about Kentucky's football programs, it's almost trending sideways. I'm playing semantics. They're trending up. I mean, Stoops has done a good job there.
Well, it's not trending up, trending down.
It's in better shape.
Right?
They're in better shape.
They've got an identity. That's what I'm waiting on. All right.
Does Auburn have an identity?
I don't think we know what Brian Harsin wants Auburn to look like yet.
Yeah.
I think he may know. I don't think any of us know what Auburn is going to look like yet. And you can't judge him yet on that until he gets another recruiting class in and we start seeing what he has. And maybe you don't really know what he has until he gets a quarterback. And getting a comfortable quarterback like Bachmeyer in, a guy you recruited, and he may not be, top half SEC talent-wise, But if he's comfortable, I mean, Stetson Bennett, let's be honest, is not top half SEC talent-wise.
Right.
Right? But he's efficient at what he does. And just getting a guy efficient at what Brian Harsin wants to happen down there may be, as I go around the portal, maybe Bachmeier is the answer. Get somebody he's comfortable with what is supposed to be an elite quarterback coach coming in Austin Davis, call some good ball plays and go after it. I don't know how you correct the offensive line problem. But last I checked, O-linemen hit the portal too.
Well, they do. I mean, yeah, that's.
I think I've seen Arkansas and some other, pretty experienced guys. Kentucky lose some talented O-linemen in recent days. So there's portal guys on the O-line too.
So let's continue with the comments here. Blake says Auburn should have been 10-2 with losses to A&M and Georgia. I think that's a little too far. Could they have won those games? Sure.
I mean, they could have won the Alabama game.
They could have. Did everything but win it.
Yeah. They are better than South Carolina. Should have won the South Carolina game.
I would agree. I mean, they were
Mississippi State. They were up 1,000.
Yeah. They were up 28-3 on Mississippi State.
Yeah.
They were up 14 on South Carolina. Lost that game.
So
that's two of them.
However deep you want to go, there's three. That's Alabama, South Carolina, and Mississippi State.
Yeah, but that'd be a significant difference. Yeah. There's no doubt that's a significant difference.
Difference in 6-6 and 9-3.
Dave wants us to know diet drinks are normally not diet supporting. It's a piece of information you need to know.
They do tell me that at Way to Wellness, I'm not supposed to have them.
Well, that's technically not a diet drink. It's a Coke Zero Sugar. It doesn't say diet on it anywhere.
It's a Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, absolutely. And I'll tell you, Way to Wellness, they tell you, everything in moderation, and this is one of them.
Right. Good sip.
It was a small sip.
Michael asks, who is the first SEC team to get a bowl win? I think it's Mississippi State. I think it's coming up. We're about to break the seal here.
I think Mississippi State's the right answer. But if not Mississippi State, who's next? Tennessee?
I think Tennessee will beat Purdue. They were about to go on a little bit of a run here.
Well, I will just tell you this. I hope we're not at 0 by the time we get to Friday.
Right? Be a lot of pressure on Alabama and Georgia, won't it?
Because, I mean, if you just want to – I'll go back. Everyone's too young to remember 1972. I only know it because of the history. But in 1972, the best 4 teams in the country were Nebraska and Oklahoma and Alabama. I guess it was 1971. Nebraska and Oklahoma and Alabama and Auburn. Best 4 teams in the country without a doubt.
Right.
Alabama and Nebraska won the rivalry games. They're going to the Orange Bowl to play for the national championship. On New Year's Eve in New Orleans, Oklahoma and Auburn played each other in the Sugar Bowl.
Right.
So the 2 losers, but still the best 4 teams in the country. Oklahoma doubled up Auburn. And if you're reading the writing on the wall, you're like, Alabama would be in trouble. And they were. Nebraska took them to the woodshed down in Miami for the national championship. Houston just beat Auburn. You can't connect this, but just throwing it out there.
I like this walk down memory lane, though. Let's go.
Houston just beat Auburn. Coming up, you got Cincinnati, who beat Houston in the American Championship game, and Auburn and Alabama went to quadruple overtime.
Right.
So if shaky Alabama shows up and good Cincinnati shows up, we could be in for a contest just down the street here.
I mean, that's a good team they're playing. So sure. Well, that was an interesting way of getting there, what you just did.
Bringing a little history.
Piecing all the history together in there.
This is our live afternoon show. And
not Monday, Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday afternoon show. Forget the Monday label up.
Yep, don't even look at that.
Yeah, it's like, the name Cold Pizza on a TV show. It wasn't really, nobody was eating cold pizza. It was just the name of the show, which was a great name of the show, by the way.
I kind of thought that too. Was that what eventually became First Take?
Maybe. It seemed like cold pizza was a lot more less screaming.
I would agree. It was that Jay something.
Jay was from Tampa. He was a Tampa sportscaster.
Yeah.
Then he went there. And
I think Skip was on it, though, from the beginning, wasn't he? Skip Bayless?
Was he?
I think. Maybe. I can't really remember.
It was a good name. I don't remember much about the show.
Yeah, we're presented by Dr. Pepper. College football fans, what started as a season full of rivalries, close calls, and many cold cans of sweet Dr. Pepper. Now coming to a close, so raise the Dr. Pepper to celebrate another glorious season of football in Fansville. Buy Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
How many screen grabs can we get to this real quick?
Yep. But I'm going to smile. All right. Let's see. Goose is a Georgia fan. First glance, I'm glad Gus is going. Would rather play Harsin. Gus could pull out wins when it didn't look good. It's early for Harsin. Gus could randomly have that game plan that just clicked and his trick plays all worked, and he could pull some wins out of his butt. I think Gus, and we'll see if Harsin, he's got time to improve this, obviously. But I think the frustrating thing about Gus is going and losing to teams that you had no business losing to, and the way you would lose the games. That was the frustrating thing about Gus, is he's good enough to beat Nick Saban more than any coach has beaten Nick Saban in college football, or as much as he and Dabo Swinney. But he would just lose the most puzzling games in the most puzzling fashion. And, it's too early to say if Brian Harsin's that way. I mean, Brian Harsin lost some games he had no business losing this year. Mississippi State, South Carolina, we talked about him. He probably, surprisingly, the way he won the Arkansas game, I think Arkansas was probably playing a little bit better than Auburn at the time. I don't know. That's a Tulsa
Ole Miss
game.
is a great win.
Ole Miss is a really good win. I mean, Ole Miss got 2 losses, Auburn and Alabama.
I was at
They're
that
about
game.
to play in the Sugar Bowl.
I was at that game. Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe his best win of the year.
Steven says unrealistic expectation and lack of perspective has got them here. Talking about Auburn.
Right.
They've won 10 games back to back just once in their entire existence. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it is. They paid millions to buy out one of their most successful coaches because of inconsistency.
That is true. And you know what? He's actually consistent. He showed
consistent.
us at Central Florida, 9-4.
He is the Jeff Fisher of college football. He'll give you the same record that leaves you wanting more over and over and over.
Over and over and over again. Charles.
Joy Crawford, by the way, Bobby nailed that.
Jay Crawford?
Jay Crawford. Yeah.
Kit Hoover. That's who I was trying to remember.
Yes.
Kit Hoover. I thought there was somebody else on there, though. Charles. Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, Mississippi State, A&M, all trending better than Auburn. Okay, I want to stop right there because I don't know that South Carolina is. South Carolina got some big wins.
That's back to the trending thing.
Yeah.
I mean, their error is pointing up, but they're coming from a different place.
It is. Is their program in better shape? Let's talk about it that way.
I would say
no. Their
no,
program's not in better shape.
It's close.
It's closer than it should be, but they're not in better shape. A&M's not trending up. A&M's trending, like if you did a trend for A&M. So there's where I'll argue with you about the whole West. A&M's not trending up.
Okay, that's the trending thing.
Okay.
Auburn.
A&M's program's not in that much better shape.
Are you kidding me? They just have the #1 recruiting class in America.
They just went 8-4.
Yeah.
Jimbo's recruiting, and they can't win more than 8 games.
And the team you're comparing them to is 6-7.
I know. No, Auburn, they're in a better place.
Okay.
They're in a better place. I just don't have faith that Jimbo can do it long term there. And maybe Harsin can't either. But Jimbo can't do it long term there. Philip reminds you when you start counting wins Auburn should have had, go ahead and count Georgia State as a loss they should have had, which is absolutely true. It's hard to argue with that one. That's why you have to be really, really careful in those discussions, right? It's easy to do that.
Sorry, I raised my voice.
That's good. All right, man. Cameron Ward, Chris Pollard says, is in the transfer portal, top FCS QB this year. That's the guy from Incarnate Word?
Yeah, that's what I keep bringing up that I thought would end up going to Ole Miss, but I guess he hasn't yet.
Yeah.
And, Cameron, but Cam, shorten that to Cam, and coming from a small junior college.
Yeah.
Would fit right in at Auburn. Game changer, runs the ball.
Before we turn our attention to Alabama, there is some updated news people wanted us to comment on.
Okay, real quickly, that developing news being brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world famous fried chicken right on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Everybody knows what that is, right? 119 in Alabaster. It takes you to where the state champion Thompson Warriors play football, 119 does. And just down the road, you'll get to the University of Montevallo eventually. And then if you keep going, I guess you eventually run out. If you go north on 119, it gets you to Leeds and out that way. But this is right in Alabaster. It's 119, and that's Champy's world famous chicken. What do you get there? You get chicken on a stick. Great, great tailgate food when we get back to that. Perfect for watching basketball on a Saturday or Sunday as well. Great basketball night coming up tomorrow night, by the way, SEC. Auburn at home. ranked higher than anybody else, taking on LSU unbeaten. Alabama at home against Tennessee, best 4 teams in the SEC in basketball tomorrow night. Get you some Champy's chicken and just sit back. Don't worry about dinner. Just eat dinner with Champy's chicken and watch 2 great basketball games back to back at 6 and 8 o'clock. That chicken on a stick, those wonderful Mississippi Delta tamales, the great chicken plates with all the great southern sides that you get right there, made fresh daily at Champy's world famous chicken, and always a great place to enjoy good mood, good music, and good brews. It's Blues, Brews, and Bird, Champy's world famous chicken, champy'schicken.com.
All right, Louisville and Air Force are playing right now. 5:30 to go until the half. Air Force up 21-14 on Louisville. That's the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. Do not know where they play the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. Do you have any idea? Is it over in Fort Worth?
No, that was the Armed Forces Bowl. That one, I believe, is played in
Oregon? Orlando?
Orlando.
I'm pulling up a box score to see if it tells me. I'm just curious.
Lower left.
Lower left?
Lower right.
Lower right? Nope. Why would ESPN not put that piece of information on there?
If you go to the schedule, it'll have it on there.
Yeah, I don't really care that much anymore. I'll go to Gamecast. If it's on Gamecast. Is that where it is? Lower left, lower left, lower left. We are playing this game at Gerald. That's the game that's right up the street, Dunaway.
Oh, it's at SMU?
Yeah, we could be at that game right now.
No, we could.
Do you want to go for the second half?
I do not.
You don't want to see Air Force and Louisville battle?
Not even in basketball. It's a 77-degree sunny day. I want to be out in the Omni Dallas pool. They got a great bar out there.
Are you about to skin off and go to the pool?
I am not going to skin off, but I'm going to go out there and have a tequila.
All right, in the chat, y'all see if you want Dunaway to skin off and go to the pool. He'll take his shirt off here in the last second.
That is not happening.
It is a gorgeous day. It's 80 degrees here in Dallas, as you can see.
77.
Well, 79 right there, it says. Yeah, so that's just right up this road from us. I thought it was. Air Force 21, Louisville 14. What people wanted us to comment on is how incredible this is. If you're an NC State fan, they have just canceled the Holiday Bowl like 8 hours before kick.
Who canceled? NC State?
I think it was, UCLA. I don't have that piece of information.
Shorter drive from the UCLA campus home than it is from Raleigh.
And people were like, how upset are you if you're a NC State fan and you travel all the way across the country and the game gets canceled? I'm sure you're upset, but you're also in San Diego. So it's not awful. I mean, it could be a lot worse.
Your point is that a bowl trip is a bowl trip and you're enjoying your time in San Diego.
That's right.
Yeah. We've done 377 days during the pandemic where we didn't work, but we were. The protocols are the protocols, and we've got to, before we do this again next year, we've got to change the rules on how we handle it.
Well, that is one thing.
That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to talk a whole lot about it.
Well, I know that's one thing, but with them changing the CDC changing things, I just wonder if the college football playoff, I know they can't change it right now because we're already in the game week, but do they change it between the semifinals and the finals?
For instance.
Or are they even testing right now? I don't know if they're testing.
I don't think they are, but by CDC rules now, he could test positive Sunday and be out of quarantine in time to play.
That is right.
By next Saturday.
That's right.
Only 5 days now.
Yeah.
And that's for a positive test. So why are we doing it? Anyway.
Bobby said Jim just sold the hell out of that Champy spot. No lie, I'm thinking about driving to Alabaster tomorrow night to watch Auburn beat LSU, he says.
Do it.
Be a good place to watch it.
Sterling will turn the TVs, whatever game you want it.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, he'll do that for you. I got to catch back up on our chat here.
And I can't remember if Sterling's an Auburn or Alabama fan. That's how good of a fan he is.
That's right.
He's a fan of whoever comes in and buys the chicken.
His favorite color is green, right?
Yeah, right there. How he won
like
19.
me.
But look, you can get it to go and take it back to your house.
Yeah.
Or you can pick it up to go and go down to Auburn Arena, tailgate, and watch that game in person.
So
if I was back there, that's the one I would go to.
Yeah. Taylor says, I don't think TJ Finley can win more than 6 games. Do you think that's his lid? You think 6-6, whether he's at LSU or
TJ
Auburn?
Finley?
Yeah, 6-6.
If TJ Finley, pull up Auburn's schedule next year. If TJ Finley is
Hey, we were looking at that. That's it. They've got listen, it's Auburn. They always have a tough schedule.
So that's a manageable schedule by Auburn
You
standards.
think?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second. I want to get the game. I know who they play. I just want to make sure I got the right order.
Yeah, I just know Penn State at home is better than Penn State up there.
You think?
I mean,
you think playing at home is better than playing on the road?
I really do, especially at Jordan-Hare Stadium. But if you go back and look, Auburn against Penn State this year, they lost the game, but that was sort of a high point. of the season. That was, I felt really good about Auburn coming out of that game.
Yeah.
That was a good effort, in my opinion. The LSU win was a good win. The Arkansas win was a good win. The Ole Miss win was a great win. And then the effort against Alabama was unbelievable. So there were some really good moments this year for this team, right?
Yeah.
But if TJ Finley is your quarterback next year, I don't know where the excitement is going in, because
there won't be.
At least with Bo Nix, right? And you can't keep talking about Bo because he's gone, Jim. But at least with Bo Nix, you saw something to where if he played better, and he did play better, that this team could win big games.
You didn't feel like your lid was 6-6.
Right.
Listen, and this is hard to do because, we're trying to project what teams become. And it's also hard to do because I'm having trouble getting the schedule.
While he does that, let me quickly just tell you, tomorrow morning we'll be live again 9 to 1. Just, thumbs up in the chats or on Twitter if you think we should do the show out here tomorrow.
At 9?
Yeah, instead of inside.
Well, there could be some issues on that. All right, so Auburn opens with Mercer and San Jose State. They're 2-0. They host Penn State. Sean Clifford's coming back to Penn State.
Is he?
Yeah, but they lose Juwan Dodson.
Is he really?
Yeah, Clifford's coming back. He's coming back. I think Auburn could beat Penn State. They almost beat them up there this year. That's a better Penn State team, I think, this year than they will be next year.
Sean Clifford is coming back again?
Yeah. Where do you think he's going to go?
I just thought he was out of time.
Everybody gets that extra year.
If you're James Franklin, does that excite you that he's coming back?
Well, I would imagine Franklin agreed. That's a very loud siren behind us. That's one reason we don't do the show out here.
Does that bother anybody?
You?
Doesn't bother me at all.
Oh, you hate it when stuff like that happens.
No, not at all. Back in our AM days, every week we did it from that bookstore. Was it Anders at Auburn? Where every week the trucks would have the squeaky brakes.
It was the Auburn buses. It was the student buses.
They all had
brakes.
brake problems.
Yeah. People started making fun of it on the show.
Every Tuesday, 4 hours a day.
Penn State at home.
5 hours. That was our 5 hours.
Oh, yeah. Penn State, don't remind me, on AM radio. What were we thinking?
We were trying to stay alive.
Missouri at home.
And look, we made it.
Yeah, look at us. Missouri at home.
They'll beat Missouri at home.
The team today won. If you would have played Missouri and Auburn today, Missouri wins that game.
What bowl game did you watch the other night?
I
They couldn't
watched.
stop Army.
Huh?
Army.
Well, Auburn goes away from Tank Bigsby. They won't run him.
Army. It's an FCS team.
That was a good team this year. An FCS team. Of course, Army could beat Navy. LSU. Yeah, you know what Brian Kelly's going to do.
What's wrong with Dan Dockage, by the way?
At Georgia, what Dockage do this time? At Ole Miss. That's a tough back-to-back game.
He was jumping on the fact that no SEC team should lose to Army. I think that's what he tweeted the other night. Come on, Dockage. Army plays good football at times. This is a tough team to prepare for. And it's not like the SEC's, nobody ever says the SEC's unbreakable. Missouri was the worst bowl team in the SEC. Them in Florida. Losing to Army was nothing.
At Georgia, at Ole Miss. Back-to-back games after LSU.
Lost Georgia. Wait and see who Ole Miss has. Ole Miss doesn't have a quarterback either.
They don't. Not one that's as good as what they're losing, for sure. Bye week, Arkansas at home.
That's not
it seems like it's always a tough game, Arkansas and Auburn. At Mississippi State, that's based on this past season, that's a tough game.
Yeah, but Auburn should win. They
should. Yeah. They host Texas A&M. Western Kentucky, you ask a key question. If Bailey Zappi's back, he's the best quarterback. Well, statistically, the best quarterback in the country this year.
I don't want that game.
And then Iron Bowl on the road, which has been a house of horrors for Auburn Bryant-Denny Stadium. They had played last good game they played Bryant-Denny Stadium.
And hence the problem. You go into next year going, we could be 8-4 or 9-3.
Yeah.
And that's why someone like Cameron Ward becomes interesting in the portal. That's where I would be excited right now if I was an Auburn fan.
Right.
Not at what I saw, but what could be.
Right.
Right. It is, if you're a fan of the NFL or Major League Baseball, I don't really get it in the NBA, but in the NFL and in Major League Baseball, there are times you can buy into a rebuild. And I think Brian Harsin was the rebuild. And what this year was the first year of a rebuild. And then the second year you see, okay, I see where we're going. And the third year is where you start paying dividends. That's the way the rebuild usually works in the NFL and Major League Baseball. And I really think that after Gus Malzahn, this is much like an NFL or a Major League Baseball rebuild. You're rebuilding it differently.
Wayne's is bringing you part of the show. You know what I like about Wayne's? They came out and treated my yard the other day, some of the pre-emergent stuff like that. It was Monday, I think they treated it. Sunday night, I get a text from the guy treating it. Hey, so-and-so, just want to give you a heads up, treat your yard tomorrow. If you have any questions, go ahead and let me know right now, or you could reach out after it's treated. I just wanted to alert you that I'll be there so nobody's alarmed. Yeah. It's just a nice little touch, letting you know. And if it's a bad time, we can reschedule. That's the kind of customer service you get from Wayne's. That's why they're serving more than 100,000 customers throughout the SEC footprint at Wayne's. 866 Wayne's 1, 866 Wayne's 1. They're the exclusive yard and pest control, yard treatment and pest control provider on the next round. 866 Wayne's 1, 866 Wayne's 1. Call Wayne's today and mention TNR to receive $60 off that Smart Pest service. Find out about that Smart Pest service. It's absolutely incredible. It's that Smart Pest solution, one of the most effective traditional pest control services with 24/7 rodent monitoring in your attic. Like you got that monitoring in your attic. They find out the rodents, they take care of it. You don't have to do it yourself. TNR is the code to get $60 off that initial Smart Pest service when you call 866 Wayne's 1. You got those pests in your attic, let Wayne's take care of it. 866 Wayne's 1. You'll talk, well, here, I'll catch up on some comments and we can do some Alabama. Is that all right?
Do I look like I want to talk Alabama?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
We got all week to talk
we
Alabama.
Do.
We're solving Auburn's problems today.
Jay said Dunaway doing his best James Spann, describing everything that was on 119. They like that Champions commercial.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Right around the corner here is
the SMU campus where Air Force and Louisville are about to go to the second half.
I hope you go to that game while I'm at the pool.
Yeah.
No, right around the corner here is where President Kennedy was shot.
Yeah, we're staying not too far from Dealey Plaza. That's an interesting turn here as I'm reading about people upset about Auburn. Dealey Plaza. Dunaway did not realize how close we were staying. We went to Rodeo Goat. The great Aaron Suttles of the Athletic in Bama and Bourbon joined us for lunch. And we got an Uber, and Aaron brought up Dealey Plaza and the Kennedy assassination.
As we were about to ride through?
No, Dunaway was like, well, where is that? I'm like, that's the school book depository right there. I mean, it was on the corner. And, we drove right on the street, right on the same path.
Yeah. Across the X and everything. And I will tell you, on the video, when you're watching the clip of that day, it looks like the shot has to go forever. Like, it looks like the shot from is it depository?
School book depository.
From the depository.
Did you call it the school book depository?
I did. In a booker court, I think.
Yeah.
From the depository to where the president was shot, in the black and white film where it happens, it looks like the shot is hundreds of yards away. But all of that, when you go through it, is really compressed.
Well,
it's all right there on top of it. It's not that crazy of a long shot.
That's the thing that jumped out at me is how small that area actually is. It is much smaller than it looks like on film. Now, obviously, trees have grown up since then.
Yeah.
But it's just far more compressed than it appears on the newsreels.
Like the grassy knoll is not as it was back then.
Right.
It's changed.
Yeah. Blake says, literally, Brown, if Air Force and Louisville were playing in your backyard, you would tell them to hold it down. That's how much y'all care. He's probably right about that. I'd like to argue with him.
I'm not going to go and watch it on TV.
Me neither. Much less drive up to SMU to watch it. SMU's a great campus. I love Dallas.
You do.
But I'll tell you what I love more than Dallas is Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Fort Worth's a great Southwest town. Shut up.
And you know who has the best facilities in the Big 12? Baylor.
That's what Chip Brown said. I didn't say that. I'm trying to catch up.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to jump in here and give you some more comments from those of you who are watching on Twitter. Appreciate all the screen grabs of the Dr. Pepper. That means a lot. As you
People
guys
want you to strip your shirt off, too. We got a lot of thumbs up.
That, by the way, ain't going to happen.
Not happening?
Ain't going to happen. It barely happens when I take a shower. Right.
Somebody, Jay, when the siren came by, said it's time for upset alert. I just got through that. Let's really go.
That is, and we're very blessed that you guys have been with us all these years. But even media people, when we're in there talking with folks from around the country, that they get the show or they react to how you guys get the show. Things like the upset alert, trash with LT, that kind of stuff. We get comments from people all over the country that says, hey, I saw where people were, getting Christmas gifts of your new venture. Congratulations, it's going well. We were just like blown away that somebody was at the Quick Lane Bowl up in Detroit sporting an orange and blue.
That's
shirt
crazy,
like this.
yeah.
It was just really amazing. So thank you guys for all of that. Beautiful day out here.
It is.
In Dallas, Texas.
Let's get Jimmy D a tequila cam. People remember, LT's neighbor said that. People remember you saying you were going to have some tequila.
Well, I'm doing that. I'm going to the pool right after. I have a choice to make. I got 3.5 hours sleep last night.
Yeah.
Do I take a quick nap before tonight?
Right.
But since LT's not here, if LT was here, it would be an all-night. But you're here and I'm here. We don't force the issue as much. We can stay out late if we want to, but with LT, it is a mandated party. We chase the sunrise.
Yep.
And so I would have to nap if LT was here. But without LT, I can skip the nap and
be okay.
Go hard on this beautiful afternoon, go poolside, drink tequila, have a great dinner after a $60 Uber ride, eat fajitas at the best place in the world.
You're not going to like it. You're going to pretend you don't like it just because I like it.
That is not true.
That's what you do. Charles would love to hear your JFK conspiracy theory, and he says he could imagine you telling the whole bar while you drink tequila tonight. Now that you've made one drive through Dealey Plaza.
I don't think you're the one that doesn't think it happened. I believe.
Oh, it happened. I just don't think Lee Harvey Oswald did it.
I believe he acted alone.
Okay.
Just tell people you don't.
I don't. I've said it before. Goose says it's like Graceland all over again. You were underwhelmed by Dealey Plaza.
How many stories are in the depository? 3? It was a smaller
6.
building.
It was a bigger building.
6 stories. I thought it was a skyscraper. And he was shooting from a high floor.
He was. I think the 6th floor. Jay agrees with me on Fort Worth. He says he loves that place. Great partying and great food. Fort Worth is more like Dallas is just a metropolitan area. It's in Texas, but you don't feel like you're in Texas. Fort Worth is a metropolitan area that feels like it's in Texas. It's more of a Western town. Like you see horses and cattle and cowboy hats and boots. Dallas is just a big American city, right?
Everybody like Yellowstone this past Sunday night?
Didn't watch it.
One episode left.
Josh says, have y'all seen Holgerson complaining about the Auburn press conference going too long? I have not seen this. What happened? I'm interested in this. Dana Holgerson getting feisty. I'm interested in this story. Somebody update me. We've been out here.
Wait.
I don't know if you noticed, but we're sitting on a patio in Dallas with no TV in front of us.
Dana Holgerson.
Yes. That's what he said. I can't confirm.
So not Justin Hokanson. Hokanson's
not
upset.
Holgerson.
Okay. I was like, Justin's upset the press conference went too long?
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find something on this. Did he get upset?
Thank you, Dr. Pepper. Why don't you read more comments?
Dana Holgerson was very unhappy with the length of Brian Harson's press conference. I've got it right here.
Well, it's the Auburn media that's in Birmingham. How many Houston folks are there?
The Houston coach opens his press conference by complaining about how long Auburn's press conference was, according to Lyndon Blake. He also yelled, "Hurry up" at Brian Harson's conference from outside the door. This is crazy. Is there video of this? So we can't play the video on here. I'm sorry, but I think I can pull up some video on this. This is a tweet from, it's just a tweet. There's no video. Lyndon Blake. Let's see who Lyndon Blake is. Lyndon Blake works for Fox 6. So she was there.
Oh, hey.
Welcome in, Lyndon. Sports Plus News for WBRC.
Oh, really?
Yep. Her favorite Bible verse is Mark 12:31. She's an Auburn grad.
Replace Christina Chambers. Right?
Nobody can replace Christina Chambers. So, wow. Why would Holgo get so upset about that? Oh, we've got video here.
If it works, we'll just spin it around. They can't sue us on StreamYard.
Nah. I can't get it to work. We win the game. I'm just standing out there for 20 minutes. I don't quite understand that.
Oh, here we go. I've got it.
You got it?
Yep.
All right. Dunaway's going to spin it around and play it.
Oh, okay. Boom, 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 boom.
Man, this is the stuff. Do they give Emmys for this kind of stuff? I think people love it when we just go off script and stuff like this.
Is it playing?
No. Get that little spinny wheel.
Really?
Well, you've got it paused. Oh, wait. Oh, no.
Here we go.
I don't think it's ever. Oh, here you go. Shh. Get the volume up.
Yeah, need to have separate press conferences up there. Yes, we won the game, and I'm just
Spinning wheel again.
I mean, that is pretty crazy.
Hold on, we're going to give it another shot, folks. Here we go.
Why would you
17
get so
seconds.
PO'd about that.
Yeah, need to have separate press conferences up there. Yes, we won the game, and I'm just standing out there for 20 minutes. I don't quite understand that. I'm not getting that together.
It's a weird thing to get upset about after you won a game, but Holgo's kind of an interesting guy. You like him?
Well, he's been thrown out of a casino. Do you know how big of an asshole you have to be to get thrown out of a casino? Because you know what you're doing in a casino? You're literally giving them money. Do you know how big of an asshole you have to be for them to say, I don't want your money anymore, I want you to leave?
You're drinking and giving me money. You got to get out of here.
Yeah, so that's,
Yeah.
just to put it bluntly here on our own platform.
I kind of like him, though.
I mean, you've got to be a pretty big asshole to get kicked out of a casino because you're literally giving them hundreds of dollars.
Yep. Dave and Jay both say you can sleep when you're dead, so don't go take a nap.
I'm with you guys.
Eddie says, what's the most distant state to order a shirt? We've had some international orders.
We've hit a couple in Canada.
I think Australia ordered
I just assumed it was Mechie's family.
That's true. Could have been. I think we had some orders in Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
and what's that one European country that watches us a lot? I think it's Germany. I think it's the military.
Yeah,
base
maybe
in
so.
Germany.
It's probably a military base there. I feel like Jay says, I feel like LT and I are the same. I can't handle it anymore, but when I do, burn the candle at both ends. It's fun. Dave says, oh no, Dunaway's a believer in the magic bullet. Eddie says, CIA op all the way.
What does Jay say there? Dunaway. I've been asked to leave a few places.
Well,
Never a casino. Yeah. I mean, you cannot get kicked out of a casino unless you're an asshole.
Kevin.
I mean, you are impacting everyone else's night if you get kicked out of a casino.
Kevin on YouTube.
I mean, we could be in a pandemic.
It's such a good line.
And you calling like this wouldn't get us kicked out.
Oh, it's all drainage. Kevin on YouTube says, Dunaway, how impressive do you want it to be? It was a building to house school books, not a disco.
It just looked, when I was a kid watching it on the History Channel, it just seemed like it was taller.
Dunaway thought Oswald shot him for the Empire State Building.
And people made it sound like it was the toughest shot in the world.
Yeah. Jay says, I've always compared Fort Worth to Birmingham if it were 10 miles from Atlanta. That's interesting.
God, that'd be horrible.
God, everybody's talking about Holgerson standing outside the door yelling at Harsin to hurry up.
I wish Harsin would have gone out and punched him. I mean, you would take Harsin in the fight, right?
Harsin is he's pretty cut up, yeah. Though I would say Holgerson's probably a pretty solid fighter. I mean, he's probably got a little edge to him. What do you think? That's how you get kicked out of casinos.
To me, it would be like Harsin is a Marine, kicking the ass of some boat captain down in Gulf Shores.
Goose said Harsin was trying to get to Champions. He heard Dunaway's spot.
I mean, there's a lot more to talk
I could have been putting these up on the screen all along. Why was I not doing that?
I don't know. I was wondering that myself.
Jay says, what a baby. Now I get why he left. He has to be the big fish.
Why he left West Virginia to go to Houston?
Yeah.
You know what, he's getting his ass
Eddie says, language gem. As you go right there. What's in that Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar? You're getting a little loose with the tongue. Holgerson, JW says, is the Bill Murray of college football. Bill Murray is a weird, interesting guy.
Yeah.
Dave says we just thought Houston won today, but Kevin just won today with that comment. It's a school. It's a warehouse for school books, not a disco.
Yeah. Well, why do you have windows then? Would that be bad for your books?
Well, I mean, you can't build a 6-story building without windows.
Why?
I don't know. Jay says the Dome in New Orleans at multiple Sugar Bowls. Sir, can you please leave and either go find another section? If you get kicked out of the Super Bowl.
That's in a game, right? You're not giving them money over and over.
Yeah.
They want you to stay in a casino.
Right.
Because you are literally going to their ATM machines, paying them a fee, and then giving them all the money you pull out.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Chris wants you to hit the bar before you go down to the pool.
Hit the bar before you go down.
Yeah. Are you going to?
I may go get a tequila. It's 4:01 now. This has gone a long time.
It is.
How many more sponsors?
Well, Culver's. I need to tell them about Culver's.
Yeah, I could use one of their frosties. Now, what's
Could
it called
you?
right now?
It is one of the concretes.
Is it called a concrete?
Yes.
Yeah,
Good.
So good.
They
They literally brought. Were you there that day when they brought?
Yes.
Before we went to the SEC.
Yes.
Championship? They brought how many? 40?
Probably.
30?
Yeah.
Just a bunch of them.
Fantastic, man. Some of their ice cream is fantastic.
I don't think they realized we were only an 8-person company.
That's all right. More the merrier. The next round in Dallas for the college football playoff semifinals, presented in part by Culver's, located at Stadium Trace, just off 459 and 150 in Hoover, and coming soon to Tattersall Park on the corner of 119 and 280. Culver's, welcome to Delicious. I feel like we've exhausted the Auburn game. We got to move to the Alabama game.
Okay, real quickly, Bobby says, if Dunaway does get into the tequila tonight, what's the over-under on the number of Dallas Omni umbrellas Jimmy Poppins brings back to Blue Lake?
Jimmy Poppins.
LT told me to go check that out. I have to find
Oh,
it.
did you ever find it?
I haven't searched yet.
Yeah.
We've been busy.
Goose,
we left the show straight to the Auburn game.
Goose says he's been hitting Culver's hard before the resolution start. That's right. Get a head start there. Kyle asked the best barbecue in Dallas. Boy, that is a loaded question. I mean, yeah, it's the best barbecue in Birmingham, and you get arguments. Dallas is very proud of theirs. Most people would tell you Pecan Lodge.
I mean, I got.
Some say Pecan Lodge is all hype.
Let me tell you, I got sent a recommendation.
I'll tell you a place I like. It's doesn't get the same hype as Pecan Lodge. It'll have a line. It's a place called Lockhart's Smokehouse. You were there with me that one time. Remember we almost saw people fight over a table?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Because it's one of those deals where you go in and you go through the line and they chop it for you right there and they put it on the butcher paper and then you go get a table. Well, some people reserve the table while one person goes and gets in line, and people do not like that.
Have you ever heard of Town Hearth?
I have not.
Okay, we got highly recommended.
Town Hearth?
Yes.
Where is it?
It's here in Dallas.
Dallas is a big city.
Yeah. I don't know exact location, but
right.
Most of the steaks I'm looking at are $85 to $95.
Steaks?
Yeah. It was highly recommended by people who travel with the college football playoffs.
I'm in. Eddie asked, barbecue is all beef. They're correct. Yeah, they love their beef. I mean, we're a pork state. They're a beef state. And I'll tell you, man, if you get the brisket out here done right, it is phenomenal. They do it right.
12-ounce filet is $81.
Okay.
I don't know what the bistecca is. 12-ounce of that. Some kind of cut of meat. $136.
Yeah. It's an expensive cut of meat. Is what that is.
The brick prime cut is $95. The battle axe is $155.
It's the tomahawk. People go crazy about the tomahawk, but you're paying a lot for the bone there, because when they do that weight, they weigh that bone. They don't zero out that bone weight, and there is no meat on that bone, and the does not because it's bone. It's going to taste the same either way.
The Lennox is a open fire roasted bone-in prime rib at $101.
Yeah. Okay. Craig, according to Charlie Potter, Bill O'Brien is in Dallas with the team. That's what we were told earlier.
Yeah, we were told earlier by Aaron Suttles of
That's
the
right.
Athletic First Report
that he had landed and was headed there with the team.
Yep.
Justin says Pecan Lodge is great. He says great. The line starts early though. I mean, you got to get there at like 10 o'clock just to get in line.
10 in the morning.
Yeah. And they're one of those that they may run out of food. They don't do anymore once they run out.
That.
But we did. Carnut says, Dr. Pepper time, it's 4:04. He's right. Justin adds, Torchy's is a good Mexican restaurant chain in Dallas. They have one of those for a minute in Birmingham, went out of business. Drake says he wishes he could put photos in this chat. All right. Again, somebody that gets the show. Charles, are y'all going to visit one of Jimbo's ranches while you're in Texas? He's got multiple.
Well, Brown's got even not as good of a program as Auburn.
I didn't say that. That's what I hate when y'all do that, man. That's not what I said. All right, before we talk Alabama and get out of here, we'll mention Alabama just real quick.
I've been sitting here 20 minutes and we hadn't talked Alabama.
Well, we're about to. I want to remind you about Hemp Hill. They're one of the great sponsors bringing you our coverage today. If something's not running right, flowing right, draining right, or flushing right, disaster can strike at any moment. It's bad news when it does. The people we trust to fix it right and fix it the first time are Adam and Chad, the team at Hemp Hill. Hemp Hill Services does it right and at a fair price. For all your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name Birmingham's trusted since 1954. Hemp Hill Services, call now 205-229-2090, 205-229-2090.
Well, first off, it's not like they snuck Bill O'Brien into town.
Do they have a parade?
Bill O'Brien is actually doing the offensive news conference today. So he's right there. Of course, that is virtual, so he's not around anybody, but he's cleared. He's full participation, ready to go now.
So for those,
they didn't bubble him up and bring him to town.
For those that don't know, Bill O'Brien has a son that has a chronic illness. They've done a story about it. I think I saw it on NFL Live. And it's an incurable disease that he wasn't expected to live very long, and he's defied all those odds. But obviously, in that situation, if you unknowingly brought COVID into the household, it could literally be fatal for him. Even though the strains that we're fighting through right now aren't as damaging and aren't killing people at nearly the rate, for someone that's immunocompromised like that, it could be a death sentence. So he did the right thing and voluntarily tested, and that's how the COVID was discovered with him, because he was going home for Christmas in Houston to visit his son. So that's why he was out.
Ross Dellinger, Sports Illustrated, pointing out that the SEC is not only 0-3 to start bowl season. All 3 losses have been to group of 5 teams.
Oh,
big time for the group of 5.
Yeah. By the way, it was UCLA that pulled out, and as you might imagine, the NC State players are PO'd. Porter Brooks, who plays for NC State, I believe he's a receiver, spent Christmas away from. You're going to cancel 5 hours before the kick. Spent Christmas away from home, practiced for a month, had family fly across the country to watch the game. SMDH. Yeah. That does suck for the players, man. That's awful.
Good picture if you follow Alabama football on social media from practice today at AT&T Stadium. Nick Saban's got everybody called up around him midfield and talking to the team today. Just great photos coming out if you follow Alabama football on social media. Just those iconic photos that you know when they come back and they do the life and times of Nick Saban.
Yeah.
His time in Tuscaloosa. These are the kind of photos that are going to show up. This one right here, I'll just show it to you. That's the kind of photo that will show up. And you'll end up having, somebody famous is going to be on the far right or the far left of this picture. And it's going to be like, the story's going to be about that guy.
Right.
John was a second string guard on the 2021 Alabama football team with legendary coach Nick Saban. They'll show that wide shot, and then it will zoom in on John, far left.
Right.
John, who went on to be president.
You think the president or the future president of the United States is on the Alabama team right now? Is that what you're saying?
I live in a country that is possible.
That's true.
Yep.
As long as they meet the criteria. All right.
You know who can't be president?
Who's that?
TJ Finley.
He would overthrow it?
I'm just saying that's the way the whole chat started off.
Yeah.
All right, so we're done?
That's it.
All right. A lot more stuff will happen throughout the week. We're going to have guests starting tomorrow and Thursday that'll join our conversation, much like the Saturday show we did from the SEC Championship, where we had great people like Will Lowry and Chris Stewart, others that Josh Pate will join us, and we will talk to those people leading into the big game going on over at AT&T Stadium, 2:30 on Friday. So the programming before we get out of here the rest of the way, and thank you for keeping that number above 150 all the way through, and the thousands that'll watch this on replay. We appreciate you guys so much, and thank you to Dr. Pepper and all of our sponsors for bringing you this. Tomorrow morning, normal live show, 9 to 1, 5 to 7 tomorrow for this fireside chat again. Then coming up on Thursday, 9 to 1, normal show, 5 to 7, fireside chat. Friday morning, 7 to 11, special time, morning show again. And then after the Alabama game, we will do exactly this, just with the field behind us and not this beautiful sunset in Dallas, Tejas. All right, that's the show today. Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you guys, the best audience in the world, from the patio at the Omni in Dallas, Texas. It's tequila time.